Good morning. It's just after 5 a.m. here in Calgary, and this is a back to basics practice. So have a bolster, a block, a strap, a tennis ball, or a massage ball handy, and we'll begin on our backs. The practice today is going to be all on the floor. So get yourself comfy and let's just start with a wee bit of breathing. So depending on when you're watching this with me, just notice. Notice your breathing. And the cool thing with breath is that breath lets you know so much. And it's a great measure to notice how much effort you're putting into your practice. And then as your body becomes more supple, you'll notice more breath coming into your body. Perfect. Okay, let's grab the ball. Now you can take the ball in a couple of ways. You can place the ball just under the hip like so, and you can find little areas that might be a little sweet or tender, but in a nice, kind way. You can also come up onto your hands and come up to like this. This is what I'm going to do today. Just be here and just find some of those little pieces. Now, this one obviously won't work if you've got wrist or elbow issues. So you just choose what makes this make sense. You could also go and stand against the wall and roll your hip out on the wall. Okay, and then if you want, just move your leg bone, wherever position that you're in, just move your leg bone in different directions so that you can have the ball access different parts of your hip. So that might just be placing the leg here versus down here. It could also mean placing the ankle up on the knee. So you'll see that the femur head, that's the top of my thigh bone and my hip socket, is in a different orientation than down here, and I'm able to get into different areas. And it just becomes interesting to explore, right? So for me, I've started to do a lot more sprinting in my runs lately. And so I'm noticing different things through my legs and my torso. Let's switch to the other side. And so that's what the ball can be really effective for me as a tool of awareness, yeah? It might seem surprising, but I don't use the ball as a tool of release, even though it provides that. That's not what I use it as or use it for. I would rather have it be a tool to bring awareness to what's going on through the parts of my body where I'm utilizing it. Then I can utilize various movements and other techniques to then retrain patterns so I can improve my mechanics, and then I can function better. And so in the context of my running, I can run smoother, perhaps faster, with more ease and lightness. Yeah? Good. Okay, let's bring that down. So now we're going to go into a movement specifically to the hip. So now you've done some rolling out here. Let's do some playing. So we're going to take the strap, bring the leg to your belly, and keep your pelvis on the ground as you do it. So sometimes people will lift their belly up or their pelvis up to do that. Now you might need to get the strap around, but if you can just bring that leg as best as you can to your belly, then bring the bring the foot up to the sky. And I like to practice with this leg bone of the hip at 90. I know there's some people who practice it this way, so put your leg in the position where your knee is straight, and then you can slowly work up. This, as I've said before, is a ton of load away from the center of your body. So if you've got SI or hip or back or rib stuff, that can be really tough on you because it's quite a lot of load away from your center. So here, you've got yourself at 90, you can have the knee bent, and then easily hold on to that, and then you can slowly straighten that leg as you get more supple. So that's sort of my method to my madness. One thing that I do also love to teach, no matter who the person is and what is going on with their leg, is to utilize the strap as a means of support. So in some cases, you might be holding it with a bit of effort, but how much effort do you really need? And so match the effort to what's required. And that might have your arms up like this, gently holding the strap. That might have your arms down here. But you want your leg to learn to do the work, yeah? And it knows how to do it. I think we just kind of get in there and help it out a little bit. But let your hands be light with your fingers. So no gripping, trying to squeeze the bejeezers out of the strap. Okay, let's take the strap in the opposite hand to the leg. So this is my right leg and my left hand. And I'm taking the leg across the body, but here, the pelvis is going to stay on the ground. So I'm not putting space between the pelvis and the floor. I'm just bringing that leg across. So see if you can feel that leg bone moving in your hip socket. And just watch this guy here, and not have that leg come. So I don't want that leg to collapse inward. So keep that opposite leg where it is, and then take the leg across your body. And then bring that leg back up. Let's do that again, across your body. Now you could also have the leg out straight if you prefer. Totally up to you. Good, and then bring that leg back up. Okay, so now we're gonna bring this leg bent. We're gonna take the ankle onto the knee, like so. Okay, I'm gonna angle myself a little bit so you can see a bit clearer. So now we're in this figure 4 ankle to knee position. And now let's press that leg bone away. And I like putting my opposite hand in through the front of the hip and this hand on my bum, just to provide a reminder that the front of my hip is not to engage as I push my leg out, but my rotators of my hip are. And then I check the other side just to make sure I'm not leveraging with my opposite side to make it happen. So then I can really train that pattern, yeah? Okay, and then let's start to move ourselves into a twist. Back and forth. Left and right. And as you're moving, the front of your hip is staying quiet. Okay, great. And then take the ankle off and take a breather. Let me just check in with one of the comments. All right. Okay, let's come to the other side. And strap around the foot. Up you go. Like so. Okay? So you find what makes the most sense, whether you want to have the leg straight, the knee slightly bent, the opposite leg straight. You feel it, feel the response of what you're doing with your body parts and how it feels in your body. And then you choose what makes the most sense. And then remember holding the strap with just the right amount of effort. Think Goldilocks, right? Not too big, not too small, just right. Not too hard, not too soft, just right. And the just rightness is the just rightness for you. So you get to grow that. So feel inside what it is for you, okay? And let's bring that leg across your body. And then bring it back. And we'll do it again. All right, good. And then bring it back. Okay, ankle onto the knee. So now we're in a figure 4. It's looking a bit like this. And then starting to move that leg bone in the hip socket. Checking out the front of your hips, making sure that they're not involved as the leg pushes out. The rotators are. Watch your jaw, your eyes, your forehead, your ribs, if any of that's getting involved. Okay, and now let's start to move ourselves into a twist. And back the other way. And again, as you're going left and right, the front of your hips, particularly as you go past that line of gravity and you're moving with gravity, there can be a tendency for your hip flexors to kick in. And really, it should be the abdomen. So the hip flexors, can you keep them soft and just let the abdomen respond to the movement? And you can go all the way to the floor if you want, if that's what's available. Or you can go just a small amount. One thing to notice is to watch your head. And if you go too far, you're probably going to slide a little bit like this. And you want to make sure that it's an actual twist. So pay attention if there's any sliding of your head on the mat. Okay, brilliant. Okay, ankle comes off the knee. Let's just do a small little bit of butterfly. So the legs are going to go wide. And the legs are going to come back in. Legs are going to come wide. And they're going to come back in. So if I do it from this angle, what you'll notice is it's not Baddha Konasana, which brings the feet together. We're just coming onto the outside edges of the feet because we've moved through the front of the hip here. And again, we're into rotation, so the front of the hip, those hip flexors don't need to engage. Great. Okay, just a couple of more. Okay, lovely. Okay, now let's take the strap and hold it between the hands. Arms come up to the sky. Raise the arms to the sky. Bring the shoulders back. Raise the arms to the sky and then bring the shoulders back. Good, and then arms to the head. So the movement takes us all the way, if it's available, towards the ears, but no further. Yeah? So not all the way to the floor, just to the ears if you can. But what you're noticing for is any wobbly or wonky or pain or clicking and clunking. And can you move in your range that has no clicking, clunking, wobbly, were all the words I used? Basically anything that hinders your ability to go in a nice, pure, precise movement over your head. So wobbly, clicking, clunking, pain, strain, ache. And if you have to really hold your ribs down, I'd love it if you explore the idea of just keeping those ribs soft and taking the arms only as far as the ribs don't move. Because gripping with your upper abdomen is just another compensation pattern. All right, one more. Okay, perfect. Now Take your index finger, your thumb tip together, index finger and thumb tip together, like so. Hug a tree, big arm circle, big arm, this, I don't even know what to describe it as. And now we're gonna take the arms wide. The movement, the articulating joint, and we'll come up to sitting to show this to you, is the arm bone in the shoulder socket. We're moving in a horizontal way. The elbow is not straightening. It's all about what's going on at the shoulder. Arm bone in that shoulder socket. Good. And now come back up. Now we're going to rotate the arm bone. Let me show this to you. Rotate the arm bone like this. Now you're going to see the elbow is going to move in that direction, but we're not moving the elbow. We're moving the arm bone in that shoulder socket. Okay. So find where it makes the most sense for you. And then it might be here, it might be here, it might be here. And again, we're going to move the arms at the shoulder joint. Just a different position of the head of your humerus. All right, lovely. Okay, now from here, take your legs straight and bring one knee to your belly and take the hand onto the opposite side. Shoulder girdle is going to stay on the ground. Leg comes across your body, and let's take a twist. Now again, similar to the previous twist, really ensure, if you can feel it, that you're actually rotating, and feel for your head if you're like sliding down the mat, right? I'm kind of exaggerating it to make a point. So that if you're sliding down the mat that way, then you're likely not rotating as much as you could, and you're going probably a little far. Good, and then come on back. Lovely. Okay, and then the other side. And then come on back. And then join both legs up towards your belly and start to take those around in circles. And then other way. All right, perfect. Legs come down. They come straight or bent. You choose which makes sense. Let's check back in with your breathing again and notice how your inhale and your exhale are coming into your body and then going away from your body. Just notice what's happening there. And just feel how the breath enters in wherever you feel it, whether it's through your nose or through the movement of your body. And maybe the way your body has shifted has enabled more breath to come in to your system. And you can lie back for as long as you want here, or you can come on up and join me in sitting. And now notice yourself up here in sitting, Notice yourself in vertical. And you might want to do a more vigorous practice now. You might want to lift some weights, go for a walk, or maybe, like me, you'll come up and join me for a tea. So whatever you do next, you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Namaste. Mwah.